Hi guys, so I'm coming to you today from Auction Time Bid Board in Pennsylvania, and this place is basically a warehouse that once a month just sells everything. So the way this works is people can bring in whatever items they have at home. You just set an appointment, they come, assign it a number, and put it on a shelf, and those shelves add up. This place is a gigantic warehouse that every month has between 10 and 15,000 pieces for sale. It's huge. I love it. Everything is organized by a sort of category. So there's tools along this shelf. This is where there's a lot of blow molds or larger pieces like lamps or more outdoor stuff. There was this entire row of rough-hewn wood for sale. All of these lawnmowers, some of them ended up going for like $10, and rows of jewelry, which made me so happy. Okay guys, so I'm going crazy. Like, I'm spending way too much money. We're gonna see what I come home with. I want everything. There's so much shit. Look at this shit. So from my experience, the auction is pretty much a magical place where anything can happen. I wanted to show you guys some of my favorite pieces that were there that I didn't end up getting. The first one is this full-size knight. I think it went for like $45. And it's amazing because whatever's there is there, and whatever it goes for, it goes for. So some weeks there's absolutely amazing stuff, but it's like, but the person who was going to buy that just didn't show up, so you got it super cheap. Sometimes things go crazy high. But yeah, you see stuff like that. These stained glass lamps, now they're not Tiffany, but they're very cool, and there were a lot of them. So if you're someone who's into that, you could have outfitted your entire house by just going to the auction on that day. There's always a lot of nativity scenes. There's always a lot of Christmas stuff, but I love the vintage nativity scenes. There was one that really looked really close to one that my grandma had when we were kids and growing up. And it's just so cool to get those memories. There's so much vintage stuff there. They had these vintage trees, speaking of Christmas. People know the value of them now, so it's rare to find one for like a crazy good deal, but they had a lot of those as well. Most of them were going for around $100. But if you ever see those in a thrift store, scoop them up. They're super valuable, even if they're missing the lights. Oh, okay. I made a list of all my favorite stuff. A velvet hand-painted Elvis. Come on now. You're telling me you don't need a velvet hand-painted Elvis? And not to be outdone, velvet hand-painted John Wayne. I love it. Okay. And this was really cool. This was a refurbished oil drum. I don't know what the hell you do with it, but it was there, and I thought it was cool. Oh, this was a Bugs Bunny from the first year that Bugs Bunny premiered as a character. I don't know how high that one ended up going. It wasn't in the best condition, but it's just so cool that somebody had that. You know, somebody bought that for their kid a very long time ago, and it's still around today. And like I said, it just showed up at this auction. So that was really cool. There was this erector set. This was from early childhood, a He-Man Gray Skull castle with the original box. It was missing the interior, but it did have the original box. This vintage smoking ad, which you never see anything like that anymore. And there's always this really cool vintage Halloween stuff too. This one is a black cat under a frame. This was from the 40s, which I thought was so cool. There's always vintage Halloween stuff, and I always want to buy it. Oh, and there were these coasters. So this was a local company that it did ship nationally, but they were coasters going back from the beginning of the company itself. So that was a really cool thing to see. And my dad was like, why didn't you get that? It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't know beer, but yeah, I got in trouble for that one. This was also another interesting one. So this is a poster from 1976 advertising a pornographic exhibition, and prints of it were going on eBay for as much as $500. So I didn't end up coming home with that one, but that was a really cool piece that, you know, was just lying along the wall, the huge wall of, you know, paintings and posters and stuff. And it's like, I wouldn't have known it but somebody else was like, oh no, that one's really expensive. So again, if you know what you're looking for, you can make really real money there. This was a gaming chair that was going for about 50. Original value is around 176. So again, great way to save. I don't know why you would shop in a regular store if you live near a place like this auction. It's like everything eventually comes through. You can get it for so much cheaper, and you can have such a great experience shopping instead of just like, yeah, I spent a bunch of money, I came home. Like, this place is an experience. Please, if you have the ability to go, even if you're not going to buy anything, just go walk around. It's amazing. You literally get to walk through history. There's always blow molds. They always have these blow molds, and you guys know they can be really valuable. I didn't bid on any of them because I don't like shipping things that are that big. Anything bigger than like a pair of jeans frightens me, but they're always there. And sometimes they go really cheap because, like I said, if the person who's buying blow molds doesn't show up that month, they can just go for nothing. Oh, this TV was so cool. So it is a 1940s TV on a little roller, so you can take it from room to room in your house. And it had all the switches and buttons and dials. It was so cool. Somebody tried to talk to me about a show called The Honeymooners, which I don't know what that is, but so cool, so cool. And to see how far we've come with technology in such a short amount of time. And then there was this legit cauldron. It's a straight cauldron. I love it. It was huge. It was like 4 feet across. I mean, it was very, very big. And my friend who shops there all the time was like, oh yeah, they show up a lot. It's like, how do cauldrons show up? So I will be buying a cauldron at some point in the future and taking one step closer to becoming a bog witch, which is what I've always dreamt of. What else we got? Oh, and there was this man-sized spinning wheel. This thing is gigantic. And again, like, if I ever win the lottery and I suddenly end up with a lot of money, I'm going to be a bog witch and I'm going to spin my own thread like a lunatic. And this is where I'll start. And then, okay, I'm prefacing. So there's always a lot of taxidermy there. Well, I shouldn't say there's a lot, but there's always a few pieces of taxidermy every month. This month, they had this, which guys were bidding on for the sake of comedy alone. It ended up going for over $200, and they said, like, many men were stopping by that day just saying like, oh my God, this will be so funny. Cause like, I'll get to text all my friends, be like, you want a picture of my wife's beaver? And then I'll like send them a picture of the beaver. Like, guys are very simple creatures. Really, they are. They are not complicated. Give them a stuffed beaver and they're happy. It just, and all the women, meanwhile, are standing there like Marge Simpson going like, it's like no woman wanted that in her home. But yeah, there's always taxidermy there, and the beaver was very, very popular. Beaver shot. Okay. Done now. And then the thing that I thought was the coolest that I had absolutely no idea what to do with is they had this working phone booth. So not only did the actual like telephone, you know, the sign lit up, but also if you opened and closed the little door, when you closed it, the light would come on and the phone would work. And there was only one bid on that for $510 because like, who knows what to do with that? You know, like who happens to need a vintage street phone booth? But super cool. You'll never ever see it again. Absolutely loved it. And I'm going to cut to video in a second, but I got this. I won this. I'm so excited, and I'll show you more. This is a vintage cabinet from a Chinese apothecary in Philadelphia. So cool. And it's not vintage, it's antique actually, because it's 112 years old. So I'm going to try to sell it, but I'm not going to try like real hard because I really like it. So I paid for it, but that's like the one upscale piece of furniture that I'm going to have in my home. Oh, and always, it's the right area of Pennsylvania. So there's a lot of Jesus and a lot of guns. Every month you go, Jesus and guns. But that's what walking through the auction is like. So I will let you see some more for yourselves. These are the employees. They're insanely organized and insanely good at what they do. This is what it looks like when they call an auction. Okay guys, so we went to the auction yesterday and bid all our stuff, and it is now Sunday morning the next day, and my husband told me like, hey, I got an email with all the stuff you bought, and he just stared at me. He just stared at me and I was like, what? Because I thought I would spend around $600. And I'll put it over here. This is what I spent. I bought a lot more than I thought I bought, and I ended up spending around $1,200, which might not be a lot to you guys. It's a lot to me. So I'm pretty much in shock right now. And I definitely see why people there, a lot of them carry little notebooks where they like keep track of their bids. Cause I thought, you know, like one of the first things I did was just go through the jewelry counter and put my bids down. And I assumed people would outbid me because there was like a brand new with tags Betsy Johnson necklace that I put like $5 on. Sorry, that's the laundry. And I assumed somebody would outbid me, and nobody outbid me. So I got like all the jewelry that I bid on. So I'm like in shock. I'm in shock. And my husband's going up right now to pick up all of our stuff. The next part of the video you will see is where I'm going to show it all to you guys. I'm going to show you what I actually got, but like, I'm not okay right now. I'm not okay right now. Like, a big day for me is spending $60 at a Goodwill bins. That's like a big spending day for me. Like maybe 80 if I'm really going nuts. But I went bucky at this place. I feel like I will never financially recover from this. Like it. So I need to compose myself, and then I will show you all the stuff we got. Bye. So I have to look up these different signatures, but I paid about $10 for this Harlem Globetrotters signed ball. I paid $25 for these, but this was just for me. These are silicone baking molds, and I love this because we love to bake, but I hate when you have to like turn over a cake pan and half of it doesn't come out right. So these are just for me. So they're kind of a wash. This is a Gorski fur hat. It's incredibly soft. I paid, I think, $10 for this, and it is like an actual Gorski. So, I mean, I hope I can get upwards of 100 for this. We'll see. All right, and let this clock be a lesson, because I paid up for this. I ended up paying $75 for it because I thought it was this really cool mid-century modern piece that I could get at least 200 for, and I should have actually gone and examined it because it's plastic. It is plastic, and I'll show you guys the back. Like, these pieces are taped together, so it's still a kind of cool piece. It is still, you know, a mid-century modern style, but it is not the very valuable thing that I thought it was. So I'm gonna eat this. We'll see what I can get for it. I honestly don't know, but this one was a big lesson for me, because if I had just picked it up, if I had actually gone through and examined it, I would have known that it was not worth what I was gonna pay for it. So that is definitely, that was a learning experience for me, and it makes me super, super sad. But you know, sometimes you pay money for an important lesson, and I certainly learned mine. So this is something I need to research, but I actually kind of love it. It is a very legit dream catcher. These are real pheasant feathers real fox fur. This is all felted wool. I need to look into the history of this piece definitely to determine its value, but this is just a really cool piece. And I knew this just came out of somebody's attic, and I did not want to see it going back. So I want to send this somewhere where it's really going to be appreciated for the incredibly beautiful piece that it is. So I have to do a lot of research on this one, but I paid, I think, about $20 for this. I can check 20, 25 for this. And you know, I mean, this is such a gorgeous piece that, like, I don't care if I eat the cost on this one, if I break even. I just want this going somewhere where someone's really gonna love it. Then I bought some tape. So they had rolls of tape there, so I bought some tape. And then these I paid $5 for. So these are just absolutely brand new Lucky brand shoes. And as a clothing reseller, you know I can get about $20 for these in profit, so I don't mind paying $5 for those. So this is an iridescent glass plate. And I looked these up online. They were going for about $75 on eBay, so I paid $20 for this one. Might have been $30, honestly. I don't know, maybe this was a horrible mistake, we'll see, but it's just very cool. And I think a lot of people, after being trapped inside their house for so long during COVID, are interested in, you know, having their house really be exactly the way they want it. So they're willing to spend a little more to get the right home decor. So that's the gamble I'm taking. Cool piece. This is one of many fur coats. So this is mink. And I'll show you the tag. Just to show you the length, it's a pretty full length mink coat in perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with this one. You know, normally with something that's a little more aged, you find problems, but this one was perfect. So I picked this up. We'll see who this goes to. But for a $40 investment, you know, I'm hoping I can make around 200 on that. This is another really interesting piece. So this is a vanity set that I have to do a little bit more research on, but this is from the 30s or 40s. And like the box itself is really cool, but the interior is amazing. It comes with all of the original pieces and a note from the person who gave this set as a gift to someone. So I have no idea what this is worth. I paid $15 for it, but it's just so cool. And then I got this because these have just been getting more popular, these sort of like 70s style Afghans. There were no bids on it, so I paid $5 thinking I'll at least break even if it sells, but I just absolutely love these handmade pieces. Like the fact that somebody made this piece by piece by piece, such an incredible amount of work. For $5, I was gonna take a chance on this one. I wanted to see this one go to a good home. And if you guys know me, if you've listened to my lives at all, you know I say that a lot. Sorry, I'm gonna let that car pass. I say a lot, I want these pieces to go to a good home, but I really do. Like, most of my business is based on donations. Most of what I get for free. So I feel like I can risk it a little bit. And spend the money and send pieces to have another life. So this is from Bruno and Croyer in Pottsville, PA. I don't know that name, but again, this was just a really nice fur jacket. Yeah, this one is also mink. And I think I paid $20 for this one. And again, absolutely perfect condition. And then my last fur, or no, I have a couple more furs, sorry. Okay, this one I paid $10 for. So this is from Tagamac in Danville. They say what this one is? Yeah, this one just says fur coat. I think it has to be from a smaller animal because you can see the seaming here. But again, it's a nice full length piece in absolutely perfect condition. Yeah, just, oh, no, oh, found two little holes in the back. Okay, so Yeah, that's gonna take a little bit of repair work, but this could go to the right person. And then this was very cool. This I think I paid $5 for also. This is a vintage skirt with, look at that colorful, unique embroidery on the bottom. How gorgeous is that? So it's a vintage size 10, which is not a modern size 10, but this one was just so cool. I could not just leave this there. And speaking of, I could not leave it there. Look at this jacket. So this is from J Gallery. It is vintage. I mean, look at the 70s-ness of this. I love it. So, I mean, I know I'm not showing it in the best light, but this is gonna go to somebody really cool. Somebody's gonna make this amazing. All right, and this is the last fur. So this one is a faux fur from Donnybrook, made in the USA. I don't think it's real leather. But yeah, just another darker full length one. And I paid, I think like $15 for this one. So I knew that I could get more for this. Somebody's gonna give this one a good home too. And it's got elastic right here. Like this is made to stand the test of time. And then I'm gonna bring you guys in closer. So these are hand painted from 1910. They are hat models. So you would put this up in the window of your hat shop to show them off. And I love that they have names. I think that is so cool. They both have names on them. So I think that's gonna make researching these pieces a lot easier. The only damage is that right there. I think I paid $20 for both of these, but they're just cool. Like they're just cool. And I think that, you know, someone's gonna bring them home and just have a really, really cool conversation piece. So I didn't wanna leave those there. And then this one is very special. I'm gonna turn my camera. So this, I wish it did not have this writing on here, but this is a vintage 1940s Italian accordion. Let me show you guys the details on this. So obviously this is not in like 100% best condition, but just look at the detail on this. I mean, this thing is so cool. And again, I just think somebody's gonna buy this, somebody's gonna love it, somebody's gonna know this piece's value and it deserves a second life. So I paid $10 for that, all of $10 for this 1940s truly unique piece. Okay, so the next one is this vintage, what do they call it? Just ABC iron piece. And I bought this maybe to sell. Honestly, I bought this just to bake stuff and see how it comes out, because this is, I mean, let me tell you, this is heavy, but I thought this was so cool. Like it's so cool. And I'm gonna bake stuff and show you guys how it looks. So that's gonna be a video later on, but this is just the coolest thing. And I mean, totally unique. I love this piece. So it has all of the letters of the alphabet and each letter has something special in it. So like G has glass, C has kitten. I'll bake something up. I'll show you guys what I got. And another good lesson that I learned was to really look in every nook and cranny, because at the auction, they have a wall of purses. And I looked through and there were some like fake Coach and, you know, fake Louis Vuittons. There were maybe 6 or 7 Vera Bradley purses, but all of them were going for like 20 to 25, which is too much for me as a reseller. So I just skipped all of the purse section, but on one shelf, just tucked away in a corner, was this little box. And I was the second person who bid on it. I paid $15 and I got 5 Vera Bradley bags. So this wasn't originally in there. I think they just sort of threw this bag in. This one isn't really anything special, but free purse. But then I got this one. They're all in really great condition too. This little guy. A backpack that I absolutely love. I love those little quilted backpacks. This little one. This very traditional styled Vera Bradley. And then it also included, which I didn't even see, this little brand new Tommy Hilfiger wallet. So I learned my lesson there because, you know, I think if these had been displayed, they would have been going for much more, but they were just tucked in this back little corner and not a lot of people saw them. So I got all 7 purses for $15, which is not a bad deal. I know I'm gonna make some money back on that. And then also near those was this Rae Dunn set. So I personally, I'm not a huge Rae Dunn fan, but I know that some people really are. So I'm gonna sell all of these individually and see how that works out. Some of them are in absolutely perfect condition. Some of them do have some of those inside markings that you can get. Hope you guys can see that. But I think they'll go well. Some of them I'll bundle together, but Rae Dunn has a big following. If it doesn't sell for me on Poshmark, I'm sure it'll sell on Facebook. And I actually prefer if they sell on Facebook because that way I don't have to bother packaging everything up. My last piece, I will show you. So my last piece is still in the car because I'm afraid to take it out, but I did get that Chinese cabinet. I'm so happy about it. And my plan with that is honestly, I'm gonna put it on eBay for like $6,000, $3,000 to $6,000. And if it sells, yay money. If it doesn't sell, yay cabinet. Because I don't think, I paid $375 for this one, which is a lot of money for me, certainly, but I don't think I could have gotten a reproduction for that price. So the fact that I got a real one with a history to it, I love this piece. I'm not letting it go for less than I think it's worth. I'm really not letting it go. So if it sells for a crazy amount of money, I will figure out how to ship it very carefully. But if it doesn't sell, then I have an amazing and unique piece in my house that I'm going to keep forever. And it might be a while before I list this one, honestly, because I really do love this piece. But I guess I have work to do now. And this is the very last bunch of things that I won. So altogether, it's 23 separate bundles of jewelry, although some do have more than one piece. Like this has a necklace and earrings, and I'm gonna end up pairing it up with this bracelet because they're all elephant themed with red turquoise. I won a lot of 2-piece sets. Like there's this engagement and wedding ring set again, and you know, wedding ring and engagement. So I think I'm going to have a posh party with all of this jewelry. I will put up some individual photos so you can see more of what I won, but like my personal favorite is this brand new with tag Betsy Johnson fairy with like a diamond face. This is definitely going to take some work, but this I think is where I'll make most of my money back, because some of this is going to be really valuable. And some of it I bought just because it's cute. Like, let me show you 1 second, hold on. So these are not valuable, but these I bought for my daughter because she loves Halloween. She's obsessed with anything spooky. And again, you know, I used my reseller money, so it's nice to be able to buy just some cool pieces that I like. So that is my super scary first foray into buying stuff at an auction. Clearly I went overboard. So I learned a lot of lessons, but I'm gonna have a little series going forward where I have to make back this $1,200. Like $1,200 is a crazy amount of money personally for me to have spent. My business doesn't have expenditures that are that big. So what I've decided to do is every time I sell something from this lot, I'm gonna make a little YouTube video for you guys and show you where I'm at with making my money back and just tell you a little bit more about that piece, like about how I researched it to make sure that I was getting the right price, how I ended up shipping it, and anything that I learned along the way, because my goal is to make back that $1,200. So thank you guys for watching. Absolutely head to Bid Time Auction House. It was so fun and so easy to spend so much money, but everyone there is so great, so professional. I'll be there next month.